Welcome to NFL Chaos with Jeremy. Surprise Sunday morning edition. I am Jeremy and I bring the chaos. And right now, before we start, before I talk, before I say anything, we're going to start with this. Oh yeah, go. Amazing, that's my boy. He
breaks away from a sack and completes the pass for first down.
Kittle just may have made the most amazing catch.
He fights for the first down and gets out of bounds too.
It's no good. Overtime. Oh, what a catch. How do you drop that? What are you, Jamal Adams? Touchdown.
This is a touchdown all the way.
He reached over the pylon. San Francisco beat Cincinnati. And here we are. Ooh, I am working on a lot of things. Working. Got some good things coming. Hello, Aiden and Grandizer. How funny is that? The two people that are the first ones to comment and jump in are a Jacksonville Jaguars fan and a Miami Dolphins fan. Oh, it's Jeremy on a Sunday. Hey, tonight we got a big show coming up. Big show. Me and Dom C are going to go crazy. We're going to talk about a lot of the players that we picked. My Jets State of the Nation. I'm working on that. So busy. Hopefully my wife will forgive me, but I am going to a brewery with her in a couple hours, spending some quality time so I can get away with doing some more stuff tonight. Anyway, I wanted to quickly play this as people are coming in. Morning Clutch. You see, it's like everybody that's commenting are fans of other teams. We got Jacksonville here. We got Miami here. We got Kansas City. Are there any Jets fans that are excited to be here and talk about the Jets? Because it seems like every other team here. I would love to know how you guys feel about your draft. I think Jacksonville was very busy. I was not surprised by their first pick, but it did send shockwaves through the NFL. It was very quick and sudden, the rise of Walker. Aiden, you told me that it was probably going to happen. You predicted it. Miami didn't pick for a while, but I think they made the picks count. I'd love to hear Grandizer's feeling on that. And I think Kansas City, man, they added some guys, huh? I think I predicted they add Sky Moore. Didn't they get Sky Moore? I think I may have predicted that. If that's true, boy, he's fast. He's a guy who could take the top off of it. So that would be a good move for them. Everybody's usually happy after draft day, aren't they? But man, the Jacksonville Jaguars are gonna be an interesting team. They've added so many players, completely refacing their roster. So Kansas City is excited about their draft, or at least the one fan we know from Kansas City is excited about his draft. And 343 Foxton's being kind of negative. You think they let Woody Johnson make the picks? I thought we had one of the greatest drafts in our history, so I'm not sure what you're talking about. And every other fan base for the first time thinks we had a great draft. And the Jets media beat, who usually hates us, is saying that we had a great draft. I don't know how you can have a better draft than the draft we had for the first time ever. I mean, it doesn't really matter what people grade our draft until the players actually come and perform and do it. It's never meant that much to me. But I don't know how we're not a better team in this draft. Oh, I'm just kidding. Okay. I was getting nervous. I was like, man, what are you, Jets forever? Like remember the guy Jets forever is always negative. I was like, what do we need to do to make a Jet fan happy? Hey, there was a lot of popular players in this draft, and a lot of people are excited about their players, and we're going to see what works out and what doesn't, and who does well. We got some listeners considering it's a surprise Sunday morning show. If you're watching this and you haven't subscribed on YouTube to the channel, it's NFL Chaos with Jeremy. Please subscribe. Give me the sub. We're working our ways to 500. We're almost there. We're getting really close. And when we get there, I'm going to eat some serious hot sauce and hurt myself. I'm also going to give away 5 Boycott the Beat t-shirts. Those are t-shirts that any fan can wear. You don't have to be a Jets fan, because I know that there's a lot of other NFL teams fans out there that do not like the Main Street media and the way they put their stories together about your football team. They do it for clicks. They're not accurate. They create fake rumors, and they don't tell it how it is, like us YouTube content folks. So definitely, this is such an interesting question, because I'm about to play a recording of my reaction to the Breece Hall pick. So thank you, 343 Fox, and it's actually the perfect question. Jacob Finnegan, thank you so much for jumping on as well. You're as an Iowa State fan. I forgot you are like Iowa Jets fan, like you're from Iowa. He's the first round. I love that we're talking about him. So if you guys want to, I love him. I want to know this. So don't worry about this reaction. My shock in this reaction video that I'm about to play you is about position. But as you guys know and watch my mocks, there was no one higher on my board at all or came even close to Breece Hall. So you all know that. So enjoy the reaction. Looks like I have somebody new in the chat. We loaded to go sign Quan Alexander, and yeah, we have franchise. We have tons and tons of cap flexibility, so you have to be really excited and happy about that. I would not went out and brought in the Honey Badger, explain a lot. Quan Alexander, I got to look more and understand him and his fit and everything, but it's exciting, man. That's why JD, and he says it. I keep cap flexibility. The season's not over. He is not done signing people, so we're going to see what he does. I love that you guys are talking it so much about Breece Hall. It's actually perfect. So hang in, watch this video. I hope you like it. I hope everybody doesn't go away when I play it. But here we go.
But Dean is at a different level than those guys, so please, I'll be back. The Jets hung up. Trade. Jets are up. This is crazy. Don't take Dean. Don't take Dean, Titans. They took Roger McCreary. They didn't take Dean. We traded up. We can get Nakobe Dean. We can get Nakobe Dean. Boy Green is screaming it too. He's on the panel. I'm chatting right now. This is amazing. This is amazing. I'll come right back as soon as we're about to pick. The Jets are the next up. The Tennessee just took Roger McCreary, and the Jets are on the board. They traded up, I guess, the few spots. So I don't know what they gave. It looks like they traded with Chicago. We'll see what we gave them. Hopefully not too much. Okay, we only had to give up, according to Boy Green, we only had to give up pick 146. I don't care about pick 146. We got 3 picks from 101 to 107, 111 or whatever. Don't care about 146. Amazing trade. If it gets us Nakobe Dean, he's a first-round talent. A first-round talent. That's 4 first-round talents. Oh, my God. Please let it be Nakobe Dean. Don't let me down, JD.
Who else you trading up for? Could it be Leo Chanel? I don't know if he got injured. No, that's the thing. I don't think
Garrett Wilson, who's going to have to learn the OH now because is about to New York Jets and won his ring with the Patriots. Again, that's why we're scarred. We're scarred people. We're
love, but I really don't understand.
It's time for Darrell Revis.
Oh wow, I had it on all that time. So it's not looking good. I'm reading in the chat. They're saying it's going to be Breece Hall, who I love, but I really don't understand that. Why not Nakobe Dean? But Breece Hall will be a stud. Let's see what it really is. Let's see what it really is. It was the Giants who made the trade. 36 pick. Is it really Breece Hall?
The New York Jets select Breece Hall.
It really is. They took Breece Hall. They took Breece Hall. Wow. I mean, look, I love Breece Hall. I love Breece Hall like you can't believe. I cannot believe it, though. JD trading up for a running back? I guess he thought somebody, who did he think was going to take him? I'm not sure. I guess he thought somebody was going to take him, but I don't understand why he didn't take Nakobe Dean. We have no hope in getting Nakobe Dean now. They don't think we need a linebacker. They're just not addressing linebacker. But we just added an amazing player. We got the best running back in the class. Michael Carter, Breece Hall. Our offense is going to be potent. And now right off the bat, Petrie got picked. Petro or whatever, Jalen Petrie, which means that Brisker's still on the board. And so odd. And Nakobe Dean is continuing to slide. Can we get Nakobe Dean at 101? I don't know. Maybe. Let's see.
And that was it. Yeah, man. It settled in eventually. You know, we could have had Dean, but Dean ended up going at what? 80 something. I think he slipped down into the 80s. So apparently he tore a pectoral muscle. And, you know, you can't really, I don't know, like if that's a long-term type injury, you really have to worry about. I'm just not, like he's going to get better, but I guess people want guys who are going to play now. You know, and maybe, you know, pectoral muscle, I don't know, maybe they're going to have to remove it. Maybe that's the thing with him. Maybe there's a fear that he's going to have to remove it or something and like be down a pectoral muscle. I'm not really sure. I hate how some people rated Hall in the running back class. I totally disagreed when I heard that. Yeah, I don't know why they were rating him second. He was clearly, to me, he's the clear number one in the class. Clear number one. I liked Kenneth Walker's tape, but I think Breece Hall is a lot more of a power hit the tackles runner. He's not like a power runner per se, but he's not afraid of the contact. So I think he's like, instead of just like Michael Carter's going to skimp through the hole, right, and shoot out. And by the way, he doesn't go down first contact either. Michael Hall is one of the best in the NFL, not going down at first contact. But he's not looking for the contact as much as he's looking for that hole and pop through the hole. And then when he hits that second level, he doesn't go down on the right away. He'll break that first contact. But I think Breece Hall, he'll make the contact on the line of scrimmage or in traffic. He'll cut direction, pound through somebody and blow it open. So at least that's what the tape looks like to me. I don't think they're that different. I don't think it's a completely different style of running. I think there are little subtle differences. I think, though, that Breece Hall has the better chance of being a full bell cow running back if we needed, because he's great at like reception yards, also receiving. He could be a great receiving running back. I think that they have similarities because they both can actually be in any play. We can rotate them back and forth. We can give them who's hot, kind of thing. We do have to get Michael Carter carries still, because Michael Carter to me is a guy who needs carries to get the big runs. I don't think he seems to me, the more he gets the carries, the more likely he is going to be able to break one. So I hope still that they balance it well. Coming into this year, he's the guy with the year experience, whereas Breece Hall's the rookie. So we'll see. But it's going to be a great 1-2 punch. It's amazing how deep we're making our rooms on offense. Remember, this is the team that's never had an offense, it seems. Like we're never the team that can score points. And we just seem to be getting stronger and stronger offensively. And we have a system that very easily could, free us up to score 30 points a game. So we'll see. He's done. This system has worked for other teams that way, and it certainly seems like we're putting the pieces in to make it happen. I'll say it a million times and never get tired of saying it. It really just depends on Zach Wilson, and we're certainly doing what we said. We are building a team that could lift Zach Wilson. I don't know how good he's actually going to be. If he's going to be a superstar, if he's going to be, we don't know his ceiling yet. We don't know how much he's going to grow, if he's going to grow. What we do know is we're making it that he only has to manage the game. We're not even demanding that he be a superstar. But if he is, and we're giving him those weapons, it's going to be very special. A lot of teams avoided him. They didn't want to hurt Guy that couldn't play. I about it. Look, I really thought we were going to go Nakobe Dean there. I really thought he was the guy we were trading up for. There was no question about it in that moment. Yeah, he didn't want to have surgery, which is really scary. When they refuse surgery, that's a scary thing, right? Because you question somebody who doesn't pick sound advice. Like, really, we're gonna have to deal with somebody who needs surgery and won't get it. That's probably bad news. So that's probably more of an explanation of why he slipped than the actual injury. I feel bad for Justin Ross. It's all because of his spine injury. Yeah, Justin Ross, but he got signed, right? He got signed in as an undrafted free agent. But wow, that's crazy. Yeah, I think Dean will be all right, but Dean might need the surgery anyway, right? What if he's not, the pectoral muscle's taking forever to heal? What if it's never going to be the same unless he gets the surgery? Then you have to wait out the time of the recovery of the surgery rather than him getting it 2 weeks ago. If he would have announced it and just gotten the surgery 2-3 weeks or whenever it happened, right away, there's a chance he plays this season. And maybe they think, we don't even know if he's going to play because he's not going to be able to play at the NFL level until he gets surgery. Right? If sometimes you need the surgery, it's not going to heal on its own the same. I think he's making a big mistake. Everyone loves the Rucker pick. There's no way not to love the Rucker pick, right? I mean, people say, "Oh, we didn't need a tight end." Well, we signed a couple of guys to like 3-year contracts, right? And they don't have the longest term contracts. I think both of them we get out of the contract in 2 years. Not that they're not going to work out. What are we going to do after that, right? Why not bring in a young guy you feel very confident in, that has the potential to have an even higher ceiling than the guys that we brought in. And also, by the way, could end up being one of the best run blocking tight ends in the NFL someday. He does have that cap and that potential to be one of the elite blocking tight ends. I mean, he's a guy one day that it could block an edge. I mean, he could block any player on the defensive line. He's that good of a blocker. So, and also, we were all talking about a lot of the guys. I think Greenbean was talking about, Frankie was talking about. We were all agreeing that if you stick Rucker on Colorado State, he may have gotten the same production as Trey McBride. There's no evidence that he wouldn't have. It's not like he's not always open. It's not like he is not a great pass catcher. He just was in an offensive system that didn't utilize tight end for the passing game. They utilized him for blocking. Who's the man under center? Yeah, my only question is who's the man under center. The Zach Wilson is the biggest question mark of the team, but we really like what we saw that last 4 or 5 weeks. I think we're kind of in the same situation as Trevor Lawrence, and Jacksonville with Trevor Lawrence. It's just a question of, was it just their rookie years and they're both going to take those next steps and continue to grow into star quarterbacks. Crew. What's up, Dark Soldier? How you doing? CAC is in the house. Split backhanded with Carter, Breece Conklin, and Rucker on the line. Oh, my God. I know it's getting crazy. And then what about Garrett Wilson with Elijah Moore and Corey Davis and Berrios? And I'm one of the people who have not given up on Sims. I'm not counting on him. That's the key. Not naming him or counting him and saying, Phil Mims is going to be great. I'm not counting on that. I think we're fine if it doesn't happen now. We're really strong. But I'm also saying look out and don't give up on Denzel Mims. Let's see what happens when camp starts. Let's see what happens when he's back in camp. Let's see what's going to come of that, because the guy's put on 20 pounds of muscle. He's coming in healthy. He's had one bad year in his life. Every year in college, high school, college rookie year, there was nothing wrong with Denzel Mims. And he's had a whole year to learn. But not only did he put on muscle, but he studied the playbook. Hopefully he did all the mental stuff and the playbook and memorized and worked hard on that and got the help he needed in route running. I think he was working with someone on that too. He could come in and be very, very dangerous. So Let's see what Joe Blewett is saying. Joe Blewett feels that next year will be a pretty much all defense draft for the most part. I could see that. I mean, it feels like what more can we do for the offense? I think the only thing we might do for the offense is it depends if we sign Fant or not. And we might replace McGovern. So there's some offensive line questions and some offensive line depth questions. But that's really the only thing that's left. Specialty positions, I mean, we're good. We always have to have like a fifth receiver, little things like that, but those aren't major things. So yeah, I mean, it's time to now start bulking up the defense as far as linebackers and safeties. But I think we're going to know a lot more about what we need on the defense next year. Remember, our defense had games where they played really well. Part of what failed the defense was our offense. Having them on the field all the time did not help them. Plus, there was a lot of injuries. So we'll see what we have in the defense this year. And, we're getting to that point where we don't have to think positional need. That's going to be a beautiful thing when you can go into a draft and just take the absolute biggest impact player without even thinking about the position. And that's where I hope to get to that level. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we went defense heavy next year. Nobody signed Ross. Oh, it's crazy. I think Justin Ross must have been signed as an undrafted free agent, or someone's going to bring him in. I can't imagine, unless the doctors are saying they don't want him playing. Which Jets pick surprised me the most? Definitely the Breece Hall pick. Well, the Sauce Gardner pick was a surprise at the time because I didn't know what was going to happen, how it was all going to unfold. Now it seems to all make sense. There was a lot of surprise picks, actually. I think there was some surprise picks. Obviously, the trade up was a surprise, but the pick of JJ was not a surprise. I think we all felt it. But the Breece Hall was a surprise. The Sauce Gardner was a surprise, regardless of what the media was saying. I didn't believe any of it. The Garrett Wilson was not that big of a surprise at all. The Jeremy Rucker pick was a surprise. I thought they were going to go at that point. I thought they were going to pick linebacker or safety. So there was a lot of surprises, but the players weren't surprises. That was the weird thing. This was different than last year in this draft. Like, the players all made sense. These were players we mocked constantly and liked. So, Sauce Gardner, you can't be surprised of why, like, if player-wise, skill-wise, you can't be surprised. I mean, maybe the best player in the draft, possibly. Definitely top 3, unarguably. So it's not a surprise they wanted that player at the end of the day. It was a positional thing. The Garrett Wilson, same thing. Arguably number WR1. He was my WR2 coming out in the class. He was the healthy one. Jameson Williams wasn't. Not much of a surprise. We knew we needed a receiver. The trade for JJ was a surprise. You never expect it. You hope for it. And then the JJ pick wasn't a surprise at all. The Breece Hall, player-wise, was not a surprise. Number 1 running back coming out of the draft. As much as we talked about we don't need running back, we could wait till the 4th round and get a good one. Part of me that would hurt me every time we said it because I really wanted this guy on our team. So as much as positionally I was shocked and just couldn't believe we didn't take a linebacker there or safety, the excitement of having Breece Hall is very real for me. He's, again, a very special player. I don't have a ceiling for him. I think ceiling for him basically is elite running back. I honestly believe that. The Jets system of using running back by committee might be the biggest thing that holds him back, and just our wanting and desire to not have him just be 4 or 5 years and his career's over, seems to be the thing with running backs, but to take away the load, to have that balance, to use multiple running backs so he can have a long career, but that hurts the numbers. You're not going to generate the big, tremendous numbers. He might be good enough. They're not going to give him a choice. I don't want to say crazy things, but it's not crazy. I mean, it's crazy. I hate saying the names of Hall of Fame running backs to say he has that kind of ceiling. I'm not predicting that's what he's going to be because I don't think it's ever possible, really that possible. Well, there are some generational players that come out where you can predict it and not look crazy, but I always think you look crazy when you predict a guy is going to be a Hall of Fame player. It's always a hard thing to predict and not sound silly saying it. So I'm not predicting it. I'm just saying I don't think he has a ceiling. I think there's no reason why he's as exciting coming out of college as Henry was, exciting coming out of Jonathan Tyler, obviously, coming out of college. So I don't think it's fair to say he can't be at that level. But I also wouldn't predict it because I think that's something very special and hard to predict for someone to become that elite. But there's no limit to my excitement of what Breece Hall could be. When I watch his tape, watch him in games, just watch him playing in a game. Don't even watch the highlights, just watch him playing in a game. It's very hard not to get excited. He's a very, very special player. So as much as if it was a surprise, it wasn't a surprise by the quality of player. And Jeremy Ruckert, same thing. Positional surprise, yes. Quality of player surprise, no. He was my number 2 guy on the board after McBride, and he was making it very close for me from what we needed. I was starting to actually have him above McBride as far as the Jets' needs and the Jets' offensive scheme. Like what we're trying to do offensively, Jeremy Ruckert makes total sense and he was believable as the number 1 tight end on JT's board. The offensive tackle wasn't a surprise. Alex, we needed Max. We needed a tackle. We needed to add depth to the offensive line. He was somebody we were watching that we had in that part of the draft as somebody that might get selected. So that wasn't a surprise. Michael Clemens was a surprise. I thought if we doubled up on edge, it would be like the kid from I'm forgetting where from. Was it from Ohio State? Tyler Smith or something. There were some guys I thought, Jeff Gunter, Malone. I thought there were guys we might double up with that we would always do. I didn't expect it to be Michael Clemens. I didn't even know him, to be honest. So he was like a no-name guy. Now, of course, I'm watching some of his highlights, and it's hard not to get excited. He definitely looks to have some special qualities. Not expecting much from him the rookie year, but if he gets into the rotation and even plays, that's going to be impressive. So now that just drafted Wilson, what do you think will happen to Mims? Yeah, I think Mims is just coming in and trying to win a spot on the. That's how we're treating it. Treat Mims like a developmental wide receiver. I forgot who said it, but it was brilliantly said. Treat him like a developmental wide receiver. That's who he is. He's a guy that I think Dom C said it. My own guy, Dom C, my Sunday night partner, who will be with me tonight. And I think it's a great way to look at it. He's either going to develop and be a part of the team and contribute with, great potential to be, he has all the attributes to be a very special player, or he's not going to develop, and whatever harmed him last year is going to be a lasting thing, and he's going to stop him from ever being a contributor on the team. But there's no reason to dump him. There's no reason to trade him off for nothing. It doesn't make any sense at this point. At this point, you ride with it. It's like sometimes when the stock gets so low, you just ride with it if you still believe in like the product of the company, right? So I believe in the physical abilities of him. So you ride with it while it's low. Don't sell low when it's not worth anything. We'll see what happens with him. But it's not a horrible person to call you WR5, considering he had one bad year in his life, and you look at the circumstances of that bad year. Rucker is similar to Kittle. Coming out, he is in a way because Kittle came out as a guy people were really not talking about. He wasn't completely proven that he's going to be this superstar receiving tight end, but they knew he could block. They knew he was very physical, and he was a very good blocking tight end. Very good for the Seattle scheme. So yeah, I agree. And I don't know. It's the same thing that Rucker has to prove. Like we assume, based on what we see on the tape, that he could be a great receiving tight end. Now, again, Kittle's one of those guys that's hard to say and ever predict and not look crazy to say he's going to be Kittle because very special player. But is the ceiling there? Is the potential there? I think so. I think that he could become that type of player. I hope he can. I'm not saying he definitely will, but man, it wouldn't be blown away like where did he come from? Like, how is that possible? Like, I wouldn't think that at all. Which pick do you love the most? Which pick do you dislike the most? Love the most was, I have to say, Jermaine Johnson, just because of where we got him and what we already had. Because right away, it made us Garrett Wilson, JJ 4-10 in my mind. What I thought was could have very easily happened that I would have been fine with, and then it just made, hey, we added on Sauce Gardner somehow. That's so that when we picked JJ, it just tied the entire draft together. It was like what somebody said from that movie. It's like ties the room together. That trade tied the draft together. That's what made it an A++, like historically great draft for the New York Jets when they selected Jermaine Johnson. It just put the whole thing together. I think the pick that disappointed me the most, I can't say the Breece Hall pick disappointed me the most, even though I wanted linebacker and safety because we got Breece Hall. So there's no way I could be disappointed in something like that. And the same goes with Jeremy Rucker. I think maybe the pick that disappointed me the most, although I'm okay with it, like I'm not mad, but I think would be Michael Clemens, because I believe there was still some guys on the board like Sterling Weatherford who ended up not being drafted. So I guess in hindsight, I'm not disappointed because obviously none of the GMs thought he was worth picking. But I thought there were some guys still that I would have been interested in taking. There was even a linebacker, I think Jojo Doman. There were some guys that we really liked that I was disappointed that we didn't pick. But it doesn't mean I'm mad now. Like I'm excited now. They must have seen something in him, and we'll see what he turns out to be. He could be like a Key, like Key turned out to be for the Niners, like a very decent rotational edge rusher. Iowa Jets fan, what's up, my friend? You did make it. You made it. Yeah. You guys helped your quarterback in the draft. We didn't get Kirk. We got Kirk and all O-line and free agency, and then went D in the draft. Yeah, you guys helped Lawrence. We helped Zach Wilson, and that's what you're supposed to do. That's exactly what you're supposed to do. I definitely believe we did it. We gave Zach Wilson more already, 4 times more already than we ever gave Sam Darnold. And one of the other things we gave Zach Wilson, aside from all that, is coach. We even brought in his coach. So we've given Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson doesn't have any excuses except time. Like the only excuse he has is, and every young quarterback has it, is time. Like, give me a minute. It's not an easy league to play in, but I think we've made it a lot easier for him because I think last year, if you look at the plays, maybe Frankie could do this. He's the best at this. What if we took plays where Zach Wilson had average to more than average time in the pocket, and look at his numbers from that perspective and see what it looks like? Because this year we might on the regular give him average to more time, so on every play, or on 90% of the plays, we're building up a wall. So now we could really see who he is, because last year, the first 6-7 games of the season was just mayhem. He was like literally 1.7 seconds of pass protection until he was being pressured and running for his life. So it's hard to judge a guy that way. And now Trevor Lawrence has a lot of tools. So we're going to see what happens with him. I still think he's a great talent. They didn't do it in the draft, but they did it in free agency. So I think that they did address their offensive line a bit. And but next year, I think that they definitely got to go in and try to get a stud offensive tackle. Someone young. Dark Soldier in the house. Everybody saying hello. Okay. Let's see this. The backfield will be a 3-headed monster with Carter, Hall, and Coleman. Ty and pretty much gone, I think. Well, Foxton, we also added a fourth guy, undrafted free agent Zonathan Knight from NC State. And I don't think we brought him in. We may have brought him in thinking practice squad, but I think he's going to be, if he goes practice squad and doesn't make the roster, I think you're going to see him as a protected practice squad player. Or he makes the roster as the wide receiver the running back 4. He's no joke. This guy it's a shock he wasn't drafted. I don't know if you know that the Jets got him undrafted free agent. So he could be a guy that he could be the guy that replaces Coleman in that 3-headed monster. I was actually just talking about that to one of the guys here who's not even a Jets fan. So we'll see. But it's just what the system calls for. We like to have 3-headed monsters. So. Hey, Jets, you going to hook up with Jets by Jimmy to stream the Jets preseason games this year? I don't know. It depends. It depends on, I always go, and people know this, it's always my priority is Green Bean when it comes to covering games. but I don't think Green Bean covers them. So I think that if Jimmy wants to, I will. The regular season, I don't have complete confirmation, but 100% confirmation. We haven't talked about it, but my assumption is I'll be doing the Jet games with Green Bean again. At least that's what I'm hoping, because I had a great, probably one of the funnest, best times last year, even with only winning 4 games, because I got to hang out with Green Bean and watch the games with someone, which I haven't gotten to do in Sacramento, ever before. So it was a great time. It was a lot of fun. We had so many people, a lot of you guys in the chat. So that's what I'm hoping I'm doing this year. When Green Bean's ready to come back, I promise you he's coming on here. You'll see him on this channel. I told him he has a spot anytime to jump in and say hello and announce when he's coming back. And he'll be back. He's just getting through some stuff. Not sure of the details. I just know that he's, life happens. And right now he's, dealing with life, but he will be back. He's popped in already. The weapon's hot. So we know he's okay and everything. So if he wants to do the preseason games, absolutely. Absolutely. If it's not on Jets Nation, if we're not covering it there. Let's see. When do you think they'll settle on their numbers? I don't have a choice but to get a Breece jersey. I don't know, man. When do they usually take their numbers? Does it happen like when camp starts, like OTAs? Because even then, I don't know if it's locked in, right? Because wasn't Wilson wearing number 1 for a while before he switched to 2? It's hard. I don't know about the number thing. I'm just gonna wait, and when it happens, I'm gonna choose my jersey. Like which ones, I don't buy the authentics because like I don't spend $150-$200 on a jersey. At least not maybe like as a birthday thing or something. If my wife says like, "What's your birthday wish?" or something like that. Normal for me now, ever since discovering the Parts Unknown site from Jake Osmond, is to just get the $35 jersey. Both worked out for me. I mean, my wife got a Wilson jersey and an Eli Manning jersey because she loves the Giants. That's why we're house divided. And both came out great. The Becton jersey I sent Green Bean, or the Mackay, jersey I sent Green Bean was beautiful. It was like you can't barely find an imperfection. The Elijah Moore jersey I got is, literally $30, 35 with shipping. Can't tell. I mean, there was like one thread that I had to like cut off with scissors. So that's how I buy those jerseys, because I don't wear them. I only wear them on game day for the most part. I don't wear them out like crazy to bars where they get worn out or ripped. So for me, I'm willing to get at that price as many as I want, as many as the players I think are going to hang around and last. I'm thinking right now, for me personally, the jersey is probably going to be a Jeremy Rucker jersey to go with my Wayne Corbett jersey, because I think there's a lot of similarity there with those two guys. Just in where they're from, the story. For me, let's see. Maybe a Carl Lawson jersey, but he might not be around a long time. He might play literally this year, and then we might break free from him. I think if he has a good year, we're definitely picking up that 3rd-year option, man. $12.5 million is a bargain if he plays well. So, but 2 years, I don't know. Not with all these young players. Why would I do that, right? Jeremy Rucker, maybe, and maybe I got to get a defensive guy. I have all offense. I got to think defense. Michael Carter II would be cool. I think he's going to be around. I mean, the obvious one is the green on black jersey. I don't know if Parts Unknown is going to let you customize it and have it that it says Sauce on the back, but that's probably going to be the most popular Jets jersey over the next 5 years. I don't think there's going to be a more popular Jets jersey you see at games than a Sauce jersey that just says Sauce on the back. I might get it to say, if you can customize it, maybe that's what I'll do for my birthday. I'll get a Sauce jersey, but I'll change it up. And if you can customize it, I'll have it say Hot Sauce on the back instead of just Sauce, like Hot Sauce, just to like make it my own. So I don't know. We'll see. Jeremy needs to get a model of that behind him hanging. No, what I need for hanging from the ceiling is just a jet plane. And I'm going to do it, man. I think you're the one that came up with the idea. Am I at 170? Did I hit 170? I mean, 470? I didn't realize I hit 470. I wonder where I got that other sub from. That's cool. 30 more to go, baby. I'm going to be giving out T-shirts. I'm going to be eating hot sauce. It's going to be really fun. Can't wait. You believe that he could be just as good as Chris Ivory? Well, I certainly hope so, Foxton. I certainly hope so. We gave up a lot for him. We traded up and used a really big pick on him. So I hope so. Well, thank you, Daniel. I appreciate that. Make sure you like the video if you like the analysis. Yeah. Jeremy Rucker was number one on Sims board. Breece Hall was number 2, which is fine. He liked Kenneth Walker a little better. That's fine though. I don't mind. Number 2 on Sims board's not bad. He gets me pumped up about all the players. I watch Chris Sims, and I'm not ashamed to admit it. Why not? He grew up in an NFL house. He played in the NFL. He watches tape of all the players. He puts a lot of thought into it. So he's just as good a source as anyone else. He's been right. He's been wrong. So he's not God, but he's an interesting person to listen to. Here's his analysis, and he certainly knows more than I do when watching tape. So, I definitely watch him. I'm not ashamed to admit it. Yes, we did. It was a great draft. Clemens plays like he's in the 1980s. I don't know what that means, but I'll take it. 1980s, we had a lot of good pass rushers, a lot of good edges. So, man, I believe in Zach. I'm just cooling it because last year I took so much shit for it. So I'm keeping it to myself how strongly I believe in Zach. I have in my head very high hopes for Zach and a lot of enthusiasm for Zach Wilson, but I'm kind of containing it inside. But it doesn't mean I don't think about it and visualize with blocking and good receivers and great tight ends and a great running game that's going to take men, force the defense to keep men in the box. I'm imagining some very big things, but I'm not going to say it out loud too much anymore. Running back that you could predict Barry Sanders, Eric Dixon, Mark Snell, Jay Simpson. I can't predict. Yeah, I can't predict that. That's impossible to predict. You can't not sound crazy predicting that for any player until that player. If you would have predicted Aaron Rodgers is going to be as good as Brett Favre in that organization and be a Hall of Fame quarterback when he was drafted, people would say you're nuts. Oh, he's stupid. What are you saying that? He's a rookie. Yeah. I mean, but then they do it, and the second players break out and do it, then it's like they're there, and now you're crazy if you compare other young players to them. Like Deebo Samuel, if we say Garrett Wilson could be better than Deebo Samuel, and it's glad we didn't make the trade, you're stupid to say that right now, or crazy. But then if Garrett Wilson breaks out year 1 or year 2 and is a superstar with 1,400 yards receiving and tons of touchdowns, then all of a sudden you're crazy to say anybody else could be the next Garrett Wilson. So it's like it's like a porcupine. It's just I just stay away from it, I just talk about ceilings and what my hopes are, but I'm not going to predict anymore that a guy is going to be a superstar. I did that with Baker Mayfield. It's the last time I'll ever do it. I thought Baker Mayfield was going to be the new superstar. When he came out against the Jets and lit them up, I said, oh my God, he's the next Dan Marino. It's or whatever, Joe Montana. And I'm never going to make that mistake again. Although I still think Baker Mayfield is a good player. And I think he just got screwed. Clemens look like a real gangster and has the attitude of a real guy. Should fit in the gang ring really well. Look, they took him for a reason, and I trust JD. So, do you know Harrison from the Spit and Fire podcast? I know Harrison from the Spit and Fire podcast very well. I listen to him whenever I can. He goes on a little early for me, Pacific time. Sometimes I listen to him in the car, so I'm not able to be in the chat. I was actually, one of my reactions imitates him. I said, I could see Harrison now. I think it was the, I don't want to ruin it because I'm going to release my videos, but I do an imitation of Harrison. Because Harrison's the guy, no matter who we pick, makes it into a good pick. They'll pick a no-name guy out of nowhere, and Harrison will come on and say, Juki Bubuki, let me tell you something, guys. You don't know how good Pookie Baduki can be, guys. You have no idea. They don't know what's coming. Hookie Baduki is a beast, guys. He's a beast. He can get 35 sacks this year. I could see it happening. I mean, with Carl Lawson on the other side and JJ, no one's gonna see this guy. So that's the kind of the Harrison imitation I do, because he is the most positive thinking, exciting Jet fan probably I've ever listened to. So it's hard, you can't shut him off. So great blocker and could be in end zone. threat. I'm happy. Yeah, yeah. Look, I don't know how much playing time he's going to get, but Jeremy Ruckert is. I mean, he's a great player coming out. My Irish friend Captain K Techno says, "Brilliant draft, mates." It is a brilliant draft. Very exciting about it. Very exciting. I got to look more into Quan Alexander. I don't know enough about him. Like I don't know. I'm not a Quan Alexander guy. Like I know his game and know, why hasn't he been signed? I guess he's looking for more. Nobody's offering him what he needs. I don't know. I got to look into that. Any players you think the Jets will add after the draft? Could imagine they add a free agent. Well, I think we're talking about it now. I mean, there's some free agents out there, and look, we were about to pay, and this is with signing the current draft class that we just drafted. We were about to pay Tyreek Hill $25 million against the cap. We made a deal that would have basically put us in a position where we were going to have to pay Tyreek Hill $25 million. So there's money there. Somehow they had a plan to make that money available. So the money's there. So do I think they're going to add people? Yeah. Remember Morgan Mosley, right? Or Morgan Moses, or do I remember it's last year? Morgan Moses or whatever. We added him. It only cost $4 million. We have more than that to spend. So yeah, I do think we're going to add pieces. I do. Still 3 months till preseason. I'm just ready to get going. I want to see these guys in the draft. Yeah, I think it's going to be a long, long time. We're all going to be excited, but OTAs are exciting. We do get the one thing our media does, our beat does, aside from piss us off, is they are very good at giving play-to-play what's going on in OTAs, like and the Jets themselves, like what one Jets drive, they get a lot of content out for us to see what's going on, like who is Zach's favorite target, who's he throwing to a lot, who's he developing chemistry with. So we're going to be here to share all that and talk about all that. So Jacksonville, I don't know if you guys do that as much. When I was looking into Trevor Lawrence and covering the quarterbacks coming out of the draft last year in my blogs on Green Bean's website, greenbeanjetsfans.com, I struggled to get much information on Trevor. They weren't as, it was harder to find than what we were getting with Zach Wilson. But, Aiden, maybe you know where to go for that kind of stuff. I liked Iowa State linebacker Michael Rose as an undrafted free agent when he went to Kansas City. Yeah. I was surprised by our undrafted free agent moves. I really was. Seems like we brought in wide receivers and running back. I thought we were going to go linebackers and safeties. And then the safeties we brought in and the linebackers we brought in, those kind of guys, like I didn't even know who they were. So we'll see. They brought in some guys out of like Division III. It's kind of crazy. I got a Walker, Lloyd, and Kirk. Really good quality. Yeah, they are good quality. They're good. They're good quality. Jeremy sent the Sam Darnold jersey away. I never bought the Sam Darnold jersey. To be honest, I didn't know about the website. What website did you get the jerseys? Oh my God, I'm forgetting already. DH what? Guys, tell them in the chat. It's DH something. I got to look. I get emails from them. It's been a while since I ordered the jersey, so now I'm suddenly forgetting the name of the website. But if you go to Jake Asman's site, I think it's in his description on his channel. DH. I'm forgetting, but I'll let you know, Rod. Or Rob, I'm sorry. I called you Rod because of that big capital D. Yeah, they're good quality, man. They're good quality. Strauss jersey that says, I'm behind in the chat, obviously. Yeah, hey, tomorrow's going to be really, really big. I just noticed something. Let me go all the way down here. Buffalo Jets fan, it blows me away. I watch your videos. It blows me away that not because I'm not blown away because you're not amazing, because you're amazing and your videos are great. I just don't know how you do it, man. You're the fastest growing YouTube content provider I've ever seen. I've never seen somebody do this on YouTube like this. It defies anything that we know. It's supposed to take a year to get where you've gotten. I thought I was fast and building up fast. Is it okay if I start doing short videos? Like if I start copying some of the things you're doing, is it okay? Because I don't know how you're doing it. I mean, I know you're talented, but even talent, it takes time for people to notice. Like you're on, I don't know, man. I'm on to watch those. I don't know you. We've got to work. But anyway, guys, Buffalo Jets fan. is going to have me on his channel tomorrow. Tell him what time in the chat if you know what time, Buffalo. I think we do it a little later so I can get home from work, right? Can you believe I'm still coughing and still having some side effects from that cold from like a month ago? It's crazy. Anyway, Buffalo share the time. We usually do 9 p.m. Eastern, perfect 6. That gives me time to get home and get settled. I'm going to be on, if you haven't subscribed, Buffalo Jets fan, go to his channel, subscribe. Make sure you subscribe. It's great content. He's like the hottest guy on YouTube right now. As far as, I'm not gay. No, he's like, I don't mean it like that. Not there's anything wrong with that. I mean, like, hottest in that he's growing so fast and he's making great content. So make sure you visit his channel. We're going to go on. We're going to have a lot of fun tomorrow. We're going to have a lot of fun. He always sets me up like with the best questions and makes it really easy to organize like a really good informative video. I'm excited to share opinions with him and everything. We planned this a long time ago, so I'm really excited. It's really cool. And it's exciting times to be doing this, isn't it, Buffalo? It's like really exciting times. This is, it's just great stuff. So Captain Keto like comes in from Ireland and says DHgate. That's correct. DHgate is the site that you go to get your jerseys. I don't know why Jake calls it parts unknown. I don't know if it's like, I think the site is legal. It's like there's nothing illegal about buying a product, is there? So I don't know. I'm just saying it's good stuff. So Iowa Jets fan just ordered from there. Cool. It takes a while, guys. Like sometimes it only takes like 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks for it to come. My wife had a jersey take 2 months. The Eli Manning didn't come for like 2 months. We were worried and thought, oh, okay, we got burned on one. And then boom, it's it did show up and everything. Nobody's trying harder than you, Jay. Well, that's the thing, man. I might have not been blessed with the most talent in the world. But it's the story of my whole life. In school too. I was we thought I was going to just work in restaurants and be a restaurant guy. Dyslexia, ADHD, horrible student, couldn't focus. Was behind grade level when I was young. And then my brother pointed it out. He goes, yeah, but think about how hard you work because you just went to college anyway and you found a way and you found a way. You find ways to get through. And we turned, it started to realize it's like, oh, it's like working hard, not giving up, not being denied, not being given limitations in life. And that's the thing. I might not have that thing that's going to make everybody subscribe the first time. People might shut it off and say, who is this clown? But I'm just going to keep pushing and making videos and pushing. And I set my goals and I won't be denied. It's like, if it takes 2 years, it takes 2 years. If it takes 10 times the time it's supposed to take, I'm going to keep plugging away until I find people who appreciate what I got to offer. And that's the way it's going to be. And that's why I'm so appreciative of the people that are here now, here early, that keep me going and tell me there's someone who likes you because we like what you're doing. And every time someone says that, it's like that thing that keeps me going because it's like I appeal to some people, right? It might not be the mass numbers. Out of 100 people, it might be only 3. So I'm going to get exposed to 100 people over and over again and keep getting those 3 people and those 3 people until it builds, if that's what it is. That's just my attitude. I wanted to be an assistant principal. I wanted to be an admin. I wanted to be a teacher. I switched careers and became a teacher. I wanted to be an admin. I did what I had to do, and I pushed until I got what I wanted. I haven't decided if I want to be a principal yet. I'm up and down on that. But if I decide I want to be one, I guarantee you it will happen. And it might not happen in a year, but it will happen I'm starting to believe that now because when I think about my life, everything I've wanted, I've made happen. So it's just working hard, man. It's trying. So I tell my students every day, try. Work hard. If you work hard, you'll get what you want. And if you don't, you'll enjoy the journey. Good time just says, looking forward to mini camp and training camp. Me too, man. Me too. Hopefully we'll get like people there to film it and stuff, man. That was fun to watch last year on Jets One Drive when we saw Richie from Jets Media just going crazy and leading the chants and stuff. That got me so pumped. So pumped. Man, I didn't even have a channel back then. Last year, I didn't have a channel. My channel was like born on November 23rd or 24th, I think. Not even, maybe 27th. I think I decided to do it on November 23rd, and it was born on like November 27th. I was going to wait until like December 10th on my birthday, and I couldn't wait. And CJ DeSimone said, Jeremy, come on my channel and make your announcement already. Don't wait till December 10th. So I was in San Diego spending Thanksgiving week with my brother, and I jumped on and I couldn't wait. I made the announcement, and I jumped on and just got to work. And here I am like 125 videos later. So, you know, it's good stuff. And again, you guys have helped make it all happen with me, you know, by supporting me and keeping me going. I don't know how you're going to do that, my friend. I want a custom jersey with 6 names front offense and 6 names back defense team jersey. That would be sick. That would be absolutely sick. Chaos trolling counter used last night. Was I not? I wasn't trolling him last night, was I? How was I trolling him? I get yelled at. There's this guy that must like have a man crush on, or maybe it's his brother or his family. Every time you make any kind of critique of a DJPN post, and let me get this straight, okay? I do not like DJ. I do not dislike DJ. Like as much as I dislike the other media guys. I don't like. I dislike the what the Main Street media has become. I don't blame the individuals that are in it as much because they're in a system where it's about clicks so you don't have a job. So, and I said that to this guy. Every time I critique anything DJ says or says anything that's not completely complimentary, this guy tells me he threatens to throw me in this break room and does this to me. I don't know who he thinks he is or why he would think I would be afraid of him. It's like a joke. It's like, guy, you know, what are you going to come to Sacramento? When I come to New York, you see me at a game, you're going to do something? If when I'm in a game, I'm going to be sitting next to Nick Shine. What are you going to do? But he seems to always yell at me. And it's like, dude, I like DJ. DJ's cool. He gives a lot of updates. He gives a lot of things. He's a Miami fan. I couldn't care less that he's a Dolphins fan. It's fine. It's fine. I have no problem with DJ, but when he says something that I think is crap or I think it's just generating for clicks, I'm going to say it. And it's not to put him down. It's because I understand he needs the clicks, but I want you guys to know so we can stop the nonsense and all the panicking that these guys do for clicks and not have it be something that's stressed out. Jet fans, we have enough stress. We've had enough trauma. We've had enough of all this crap. We don't need these guys needling us and giving us stress and anxiety and worries about the team for no reason. And that's what, you know, so I'm the first to go out there and say, this is crap. There's nothing to what they're saying. When they say sources say the Jets are going to pick Evan Neal or Icky or Sauce Gardner, of course, some people are throwing mud against the wall and some of it's going to stick. Everybody who said their sources are saying they're going to get Sauce Gardner is now saying, see, I have good sources. It's like, yeah, but 2 weeks before that, you said 10 other things that didn't happen. Right? So don't tell me that, you know, that you have good sources. There's no sources with JD. JD does not leak things. There's no sources. You're just saying something that's going to get clicks. And look, I openly and admittedly name my videos names that's going to try to bring in new viewers. I admit it. But I don't lie in those. Like I might say the 3 wide receivers the Jets will pick or how the Jets are going to win 10 games this year. But I don't lie. When you come into the video, I don't say someone told me these things are going to happen that aren't going to happen. I'd start talking about the ways the Jets could win 10 games or why the Jets would only win 3 games. But there's a formula to get people to click on your link. Everybody wants clicks. I want people to come in. I want them to see my content. I want them to subscribe to the channel. Yes, but I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sit there and say the Jets are, you know, sources say, or I have information the Jets are going to get Honey Badger. And I'm not going to tell you that I know somebody who knows somebody and that we're going to get Honey Badger and we're signing them just to say it so you'll click. Like I will not do that. And that's the difference. But they get paid. I understand I get paid. I get my paycheck as an assistant principal for an elementary school. They get their paycheck based on clicks. I get it. So I'm not, now the guys I attack and I call them assholes, never GJ. I've never attacked him personally. But Connor Hughes, yes, he's a weasel. He's an angry little weasel. And he's a liar. Because he goes more than just getting the click. He sticks to his guns on his lies. On his lies. He lies and he tells stories. And he's willing to hurt people's reputations over it. He attacks these young men. And he tries to hurt their reputation for his benefit. And that's crap. And I'm tired of hearing it. So, yeah, I have a problem with Connor Hughes for real. Because what he said about Becton is a bunch of crap. He's hurting and he's got an audience and he's making people believe it. He's making people believe that Becton had no excuse to not be at voluntary and making our fans say he's lazy. And this is a lie. And people said, don't make it about race. How do you not make it about race when he says McGovern has an excuse not to be there and that Becton doesn't? I'm not saying he's a racist, but how do you not raise an eyebrow and say, why is he saying it's okay for McGovern to not be at voluntary workout because they just had a baby? But literally say in the title, literally say it, not just why wasn't Becton there. He didn't just say that. He said Mekhi Becton has no excuse to not be at voluntary workouts. That's what he said. No excuse. Now, he's very well aware that Mekhi Becton's girlfriend is 37 weeks pregnant. Well, now 39 by now. He has every bit of that knowledge. He knows that. He follows him on Twitter. You can see he's a follower of Mekhi Becton. And there's nothing but pictures of him at the baby showers, things like that. So he knows 100% that Becton is expecting to be a dad real soon. They're already at the point where we don't even know. Maybe the doctors are saying that the baby's going to be premature. Maybe there's health concerns. Maybe there's things they're concerned about. We don't even know. But to sit there and say there's no excuses for him not to be at voluntary workouts, but for McGovern there is? Not against McGovern, by the way. McGovern shouldn't have been at voluntary workouts. He should be with his wife and baby. Just like Mekhi Becton should be with his girlfriend and not leave the state, especially to do the same thing. Mekhi Becton is on a separate weight program, rehab program for his knee. He's got his own personal person. They have their own regiment and their own schedule of how he's going to recover and be ready for the season. So even if he came to New Jersey, he was going to do the same workouts. He wasn't going to do anything different. Nobody in the Jets organization was worried or concerned that he wasn't there. He's going to stay in the state in case something happens with his girlfriend and his baby. And he's working out and doing what he's supposed to be doing. So it was absolutely ridiculous. So I'm sorry to go off on that tangent. I couldn't help it. It really pisses me off. So yeah, I'll troll Connor Hughes forever now. He's a weasel and he's a liar. And the thing is he doubled down by not apologizing. And he still hasn't apologized. His ego is so high up. This guy is so inflated in his head that he can't even admit he was wrong for doing it. He can't even come out and say, it wasn't right for me to say that he had no excuses. That was false. I'm giving out fake information because he knew damn well that Becton is an expected father. And I will question him and say, hey, what kind of dad are you going to be? What kind of husband are you going to be? Connor, that you think that you should go to a voluntary work session when you can't even participate in what they're doing because you're going to be doing the same workouts and the same thing no matter where you are. It's a bunch of crap. So there you go. I'm not a fan of Connor Hughes. And if I ever get big enough for him to notice and say something about me, say something about me. Find something about me. Where's my laundry? Where am I lying? I could be wrong. I could embarrass myself being so wrong, but I'm not going to outwardly lie to anybody. So there, I'm not going to hurt somebody and attack a young man who's what, 22 years old, 23 years old? Ridiculous. What revamped position group? And now, turning to the Buffalo Jets fan question, and changing the mood altogether. What revamp position group are you most excited about? Man, that's hard. I would say the secondary, though. That's hard. I'd say the secondary. Sauce Gardner, there's no way to not be excited about watching him on the field, especially when you throw in Reed and Whitehead. There's no bigger transformation in the last 12 months than that. I mean, and there's so much excitement and there's so many things to be excited about. There's so many things to be excited about, but that's to me the most exciting position group to watch and see what's going to happen. Just to finally get interceptions, finally make plays. I'm really excited about it. No, I don't think that was me on Twitter. I'm just NFL Cast with Jeremy on Twitter, so I'm not really sure. Unless someone's mocking me, there is someone out there that might try to steal my identity now, who's not part of this channel as much. He's not watching anymore. He's mad at me, and he's been known to steal people's identity. So I guess let me know if someone is pretending to be me and saying things that aren't. Like if anybody thinks that could be happening, it's possible. What up, Jeremy? We got my boy Breece. Yeah, I was showing my reaction to it, my shock to it. Super excited, man. I was saying it. I don't think there's any ceiling. There's no limitation to the ceiling he could have. He might be top running back in the NFL. It's possible. So we'll see. We'll see what he develops into. But I have no ceiling on how good he could be. He's my favorite running back in the draft. So for good to you, man, it's good to see you. It's draft withdrawal. Yeah, man. It's like on New Year's Day. You ever have holiday withdrawal on New Year's Day on January 1st, January 2nd? That depressed feeling about all the holidays being over? I feel it every year. Cut down. Iowa Jets fan needs to cut down a tree. Wow, what a surprise. He lives in Iowa and for some reason has to cut down a tree. I'm shocked. Honestly, I want to be a healthy defense, like the whole thing. Yeah, man, I would love just to have a year of health. Let's see. Brian Goldstein is now a follower. I worked for a guy named Brian Goldstein. I did. I'm excited to see. Oh, no, he wasn't Brian Goldstein. I worked with a guy named Brian Goldstein. I worked for a guy named Brian Burns. But Brian Goldstein I work with, and who lives in Hawaii. I think he lives in Hawaii now. Grandizer says, true, Jeremy, my first Fins content creator who's been around for over 100 called out other Fins creator for what always says, my sources. Yeah, I hate that. I am guilty of saying insider when I get a fan for a team. Like if I get the Niners fan in here, I'll say I have a Niners insider. He's not an insider. He's a fan of the other team that knows more than we do. Yeah, there's a difference between making content. Yeah, but we definitely name them things to get clicks, but it's different because we're not lying, right? So, good old Buffalo, man. I'm glad to have you as a friend, Buffalo. Glad to have you as a friend, Nathan. What is Brian Goldstein saying? You guys, you're the guy that give the kids detention. Yes and no. I take a different approach to the way we do discipline in my school. I'm in a very high need area. Our kids live in there's a lot of poverty, a lot of trauma. So it's really not detention. We call it like a support center. It's where we provide support and we try to figure out why do kids make the choices they make, and we try to help them make better choices. We try to avoid the outright blatant punishment. Sometimes you do have to give consequences, obviously, but we don't believe in giving consequences without accompanying it or leading it with support. We're always support first, consequence second. But the consequences do have to be there sometimes. And it's not detention, it's just alternate recess. And usually it's for the safety of the student and it's for the safety of the other students. Samina said it was going to be Sauce. I thought he was full of shit. He knew. I don't know if he knew for sure, but he definitely, he definitely is talking to all the guys. I think he just was right, based on his conversations with some of the people in the organization. But again, you throw enough mud against the wall, some of it's going to stick. some people were saying Icky, some people were saying Thibodeau, some people were saying Sauce. The people that said Sauce were right. Did he know? I don't know. But if he knew, but this will be something that he'll ride, because how many other things did he say were happening that never really happened, right? So it's hard to know. My problem with Samini is not things like that, like him saying, "Oh, it's going to be Sauce." I don't get mad at him and go all crazy on that. I go crazy on the stupid questions he asks our guys during the press conferences, like, "How are you going to re-sign everybody if they all hit?" Like, what an idiotic, negative question. If they all hit, that's a dream come true. Obviously, if you pick a lot of great players, every team's going to have to worry about how you're going to re-sign them. It doesn't make sense as a question. Let's ruin this great mood and ask something like try to bring the mood down about re-signing players. Hold on one second. Another on-air sneeze. That's the problem with not having anybody on with me when you're on alone, is that you have to hit mute and have dead air when you're sneezing and everything, because you guys do not want to hear one of my sneezes or me blowing my nose if I can help it. Cold chaos. Let's see. I think Gitmo Bob is in here. What's up, Gitmo? Hope you're feeling well. Connor Hughes still thinks the Jets will trade 10 for Ridley. Is that kind of narcissistic idiot? Yeah, it was such a stupid take when he said it. It was so stupid. It was so stupid. Here's a guy that walked out on his team, and we don't know exactly why and what's going on with him mentally. The Jets are going to trade their number 2 pick for him. So stupid. Because that's exactly who JD likes. That's exactly what JD goes for. That's exactly, yeah, it's so stupid. Fans do follow a lot of things like sheep. The educational system is broken because that's what the country is designed it to be, broken. When you have the same predictable bad results year after year as a country from a standpoint of education, anything that's the same every year predictably is by definition by design. Okay? It's not even something that could be debated. Anytime you have any situation where the results are the same every year predictably, where you can predict what the results are going to be year after year, then it is by design, unless you're changing that design. So if you're not actively working hard to change that design, it's by design. Because if you could predict it, it's like a teacher who fails half their students every year. Every year, half their students fail, predictably. You know they're going to fail. Then by definition, it's by design. And you'll have a teacher who does that argue and say, no, it's not. It's the students. They're not doing their work. Yeah, but you know it. Whatever work you're giving them, however you're teaching, whatever your style is, you're not willing to meet your students' needs because you could predict that they're going to fail half of them, which means it's by design. Because if you're going to keep doing the same thing, knowing half of them are going to fail, it's by design. You could sit there and defend it and blame the kids all you want, wrong or right. It's by design. You can't argue that because you know it's going to happen. So how could you argue it's not by design if you know it's going to happen? Look at me. I'm going really off topic now. I'll say, though, casual fans don't have time to watch. Yeah, that's the problem, right? Not every fan does what we do and puts this much thought into it, right? They're fans, but maybe they like baseball better or hockey better, but they're Jets fans during the season and they just watch on Sundays. They believe what the beat writes. I can't wait, Rob. I can't wait. I believe it 100% with all my soul. My wife is saying 12 o'clock because she knows I have to shower and get ready and we have to leave in about an hour. So I do have to get ready to get going. Thank you, Foxon. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. It's the one thing you can control. There's certain things in the world you can control and certain things you can't control. I can't control what certain things I was given in life ability-wise, but you can control what kind of person you are. So I try my best, right? Because it's the only thing we can control is the decisions and the choices we make and how hard we work. Those are things that we have control of. We don't control everything else. I believe Becton was OTA, so 1 and 2, so it's not like he doesn't go in. He'll have to prove, so hopefully he makes a few of the OTAs later this spring. Yeah, I hope so, man. I hope the kid, everything goes great with the baby and he's able to come in. But for me, it's really about that knee getting better. Let's just hope that everything heals perfectly and he's able to have a good, healthy year. He looks great. He's lost a lot of weight. He has a nutritionist. I just hope it all works out for him because the ability is there for him to dominate and show the world, and be an all-pro left tackle. Yep. Yep. He's gonna shut a lot of people up. I believe it. Hey man, when are you getting a Sauce jersey? We were talking about that, buddy. I'm just waiting for him to pick his number, with that one I might have to spend some money because I don't know if we're gonna get the guys in China to be able to put just Sauce on the back. They might. There might be a big enough demand for it that they do. I think whatever DHgate sells, it's whatever they're making. They get the imperfects. If there's a little thread missing or a little misstitch, I think they literally sell the misperfects, the imperfections. So if that's the demand, there's no way they're not going to make millions of Sauce jerseys with Sauce on the back, and there's not going to be some imperfections that are going to end up at DHgate for us to order. Yeah, Breece came on long. I think that the real rise came. It got bigger and bigger, and then as people started talking about Breece Hall more, people caught on. I was on it from the very beginning. You can watch my earliest mock drafts, like mock draft 3, mock draft 4, 5. See what I was saying about Breece Hall. I was into Breece Hall. I cheated. Iowa Jets fan, was all excited about him, so it kind of got me turned on to him too. It's like that's the great thing about hanging out in this community is I pick up a lot of things from you guys. Rusty Spooner turned me on to so many players. Hey, yeah, man. I'll give Long Island Joe love every day of the week. Man, I'm a big fan of his. I admire him. I look up to him. He's been doing it for a long time. He's just a really incredible human being. I will say, my private conversations with him, he's just such a great person. Long Beach Joe, he's such a decent person. Really great guy. Really honest, too. That's why I like him. Speaks from his heart. He's awesome. I love that he's part of this channel, that he comes on here for some of our shows. He absolutely inspired me to do a call-in show, which I got the equipment for now, and I can do call-in shows. I got to set up a time where I could be more consistent with it. But yeah, man, I'm thank you for that. Thank you for that. I'm a big Long Beach Joe fan, and I have no like problem talking him up and saying and letting people know what a really great person he is. Great human being. So when are we starting 2003 mocks? My son just sent me one. It's gonna be a while before I'm mocked out, brother. It's gonna be a while before I do them, but me and Dom C got something special for everybody. So we'll have more information on what our shows are going to be, but we'll definitely be talking about we'll be talking about different players and looking at college, maybe not in mock drafts, but we'll share information. So when we go into next year, not for Jets, for any NFL fan, this is for Aiden and for Grandizer. We're going to be for Clutch. We're going to be for all fans. We're going to be talking about guys in college, position by position. By the time the end of the season comes and we're thinking about the draft, we're going to know players in every position. So it's going to be a very informative, fun show. I'll be surprised if he doesn't beat him out. I think worst case scenario for Knight is practice squad. We didn't jump and grab him just to cut him, and he'll get picked up somewhere else. He'll be a protected guy on our practice squad at the least. That's his worst case scenario. So aren't you glad it's over? The more mock drafts. I'm very glad it's over, man. I'm ready for football. I'm ready to be excited about this year and what we can do this year. I was getting really tired of doing those mocks, but I really got to say, those mocks helped build this channel. That became my niche. I was one of the very early ones to start doing them, and it really helped build this channel. So, I can't complain about it, but I got really tired of doing them. There's just no question about that. Yeah. Houston really helped that draft go the way it did for us. I agree. was always for solitary assignment rooms. They need to finish their assignment before they can go, and there's no audit. Yeah, that's exactly what we do, John. That's kind of like when they're in the support center, we support them, we talk it out with them, and then they do a worksheet or they do the work until they're calmed down, and then we send them back to class when they're ready. I was happy when they took Stingley. Yeah, so was I, but I thought it was because we were getting Thibodeau. So we need a snake. Well, yeah, man. Those guys need to get some integrity. Yeah, Gitmo, you're talking about a different time, man. You're talking about a time where the media had where there was integrity, where people cared about getting it right. There's no accountability anymore for being right. So the press we grew up on, the news we grew up on is dead. It's really sad. It's unfortunate because it used to be that you could watch the news and trust it, and not have, and there weren't two different types of news. Like that wasn't allowed back then. It's like you watch the news and the news was just facts. It wasn't opinions. It wasn't people using news channels to give opinions, to sway people and how they feel about things. The news was the news. It was to tell you what was going on in the world. I miss that. Yeah, they try to be a journalist. It's interesting. Yeah. I'm not going to try to be a journalist because I'm not, but I will if I ever get a former Jet player or Jet like Harrison was able to. I will try to get a Jet on the channel. I would love that. It would be the most thrilling thing in the world, but I won't pretend I'm a journalist. I'll just ask human being questions. It's more of a talk show interview than it is me being a journalist. Like I'm not going to try to ask questions a journalist would ask. If I had right now Sauce Gardner on my show, I'd be joking around with him about sauce and telling him about hot sauce. And for me, it would be more about getting him familiar with Jets community and our fan base. It wouldn't be trying to ask technical questions about what the system and this and that. I'm not going to pretend I'm a journalist. I'm going to, like, if I was talking to Sauce Gardner, it would just be, how do you feel about New York? Are you excited to go out in New York? Are you excited about New Jersey? Where are you going to live? Do you need place recommendations of where to go? My guys in the chat will tell you where to eat, those kind of fun things. And we would just get to know the guy. Yeah, because Ian Rappaport spreads facts, right? That's why I follow him on Twitter and get all the information from him. Yeah. Wow, this is crazy because I'm gonna have to go. My brother is watching from Central Park. Just had Ralph's. You found Ralph's Ices in the city? Oh, one of the pizza places or something? That's cool, man. I miss Ralph's Ices. Oof. Which barbecue chain or food chain will sign sauce to their products? Yeah, I don't know, man. That's a good question, Gimbo. But he's going to get a lot of endorsement deals if he works out, which he probably definitely will. Who do you think is his first 8? Hutchinson, Walker, Sauce, Icky, Neal, Wilson, Jermaine Johnson. What do you think the other guy? Who would be the other guy? Drake London? Possibly. Maybe Jameson Williams, but behind Garrett Wilson. Maybe he would have taken Jameson Williams if Garrett Wilson would have went to Atlanta. We don't know. So, but it's a good question. I'd love to see the board, some guy. I would pay money to see that board. I really would. How cool would it be if we saw his board? Oh, that would be absolutely legendary if we were able to see that. Yeah, but you know what, Tigo? It's really important that if a lot of people start clicking on us small guys, it's really important we don't become like the big guys, right? Like we have to keep what we're doing. The hardest part about that is not the honesty part. The hardest part about that is not getting it in your head that you're any better than anyone else, staying grounded and realize that we don't know any more than you know. We just happen to be the guys that have the technology who are making the effort to go on and talk and lead and create the room for us to all talk in and be a community, but it doesn't make us any more knowledgeable, right? I could have 10,000 subscribers or 10 subscribers. It doesn't impact what I know. It doesn't change that my opinion is just my opinion. It doesn't make my opinion any better than Friggle D's. It doesn't make my opinion any better than Gitmo Bob's. It's just the same opinion. right? All it meant was I wanted to do this and did it and got a bunch of people to come onto the channel. It doesn't mean I magically become better or more knowledgeable than anything else. And we all have to remember that. We're no better than anyone else at knowing about the Jets. We're just guys who like to entertain. We like to be in front of the camera for whatever reason. And here we are, and we're all doing it. And for those of you who don't know, Talking Jets with Tigo has a great channel. You should subscribe. It's Talking Jets with Tigo. Good stuff. He's really good. That's why I like having him on the show. Really good voice, good energy. No doubt just needs exposure, and he's going to grow and get out there and he has great takes, by the way. Great opinions, great takes, very clear about them, very respectful of people who disagree with his takes. But you got to keep a level head. You definitely got to keep a level head. And you got to remember and stay humble. The media story is more important to be first than to be correct. Yeah. I don't mind being the late night guy. I don't mind this, talking about things after they happen, after the excitement. I kind of like it this way. I don't need to be the guy that breaks stories. It's fine with me. I like to be the guy that, like, after we've had time to let things settle in, talk about it. So you're saying I could pretend to be a journalist like our beat does, but then you'll feel about me like you feel about the beat, Gitbo. That will make me like them, and then I won't be someone you want to come watch. So Simon K, I don't know if you're new to the channel, but if you are, please subscribe. I would love to get the Honey Badger. I don't know if we absolutely need him long-term, like to be the organization we want to be, but he certainly would help us this year. It would be exciting if we brought someone like him. At what point are we allowed to start talking playoffs? At what point are we allowed to start believing we have enough talent? We bring a guy like him in. We bring in Quan at linebacker, who I admittedly don't know a lot about. We start bringing those kind of things in. At what point do we start saying, look at the talent? How could we not take ourselves seriously as a playoff contender? Yeah, I do think on the most part we're on the same page. I do think so. I mean, the fans will always have people who vary and are different, but I do think that we're more on the same page than we've ever been as a fan base and, as a community. Tico is great, Jeremy. I do, dude. It's my whole life. It's like that's why I'm an educator. Like that's my big thing too about students. Like I'll point it out all the time. I'll say this kid, you might not be able to tell by the time they are in 5th grade and get out of our school, they're gonna shine. And I did it when I was a high school teacher. I said there's something special about this kid. They're gonna shine. I'm good. I've done it. I'm really good at finding and recognizing things because I'm not distracted by size, popularity, or what other people are saying. So if I see someone that's good, I don't say, oh, but they're new and they only have 50 viewers or 50 subscribers. I don't go by that. I go by the quality of their work. So, but some of the guys I stole from, Green Bean was really the one who found them. I was just the one that realized that they were good on camera and would be good people to have on. Like, like Dom C on Green Bean's Patreon account talked about the positional players. And he's the one that found him and knew he was a great guy to work with. I just saw, wow, he's really good on camera. Like he's talking to us in a Zoom call to only 8 people, but he's knowledgeable, he's personable, he's good. And then he actually came to me and said, can I do a show with you? And I said, hell yeah, you can. And then, Wat2K was on Green Bean's show doing the trivia. And I said, he should be on more. I like him. Green Bean can't get everybody on. I mean, he's too busy. He's like, he can't just take everybody he likes and give them hours of showtime. So, but I'm in a position where I can. I was starting up a channel and I had the space and the ability to give them the camera time and make them part of the channel. And yeah, it's working out. In Buffalo, when I saw your videos and you wanted to be on, I said, hell yeah, we need someone good looking with hair on this channel. So you're a token good looking guy. Yeah, man. Tebow, we're friends, man. I'll always be there for you, man. I'll help you any way I can. And I don't do it by lying. I'll do it by telling the truth. You earned the compliments, my brother. You definitely did. Way beats it. Yeah, man. It's become something that it shouldn't be. Steal some. We're all fun. Just all fun and entertainment and talking football. Yep, that's all it is. You can't start thinking you know more or smarter than anyone else. I mean, there's some people who will come in and prove they don't know much because they haven't been part of our community long enough, and we all have to educate them and say, stop listening to the beat, man. That's baloney. And we have to set them straight, right? But once you've been here for a while and you're talking, we're all just guys talking. So late night chaos talking from the West Coast. That's me, man. Hey, I have to go. I don't want to go. I talk all day if I can, but I'm running out of time. I got to get ready. I've got to spend quality time with the wife, man. I spent the entire weekend dedicated to the draft in this channel. So I'm going to spend some time with her. Then I'm going to come back and I'm going to start editing. I have to edit my Jets State of the Nation, which will come out when you wake up tomorrow morning. And also I'm going to start creating a new promo intro to the show just to let you know what's coming. I appreciate everyone that joined on the fly impromptu on a Sunday afternoon. I'll be back tonight with Dom C. We're going to have some fun tonight. Got a fun show coming up with my brother. He's going to talk about and moderate and ask me some questions. And I'm also going to be on Buffalo Jets Fan tomorrow. So we still got a lot more content coming. Again, I cannot say it enough times. Everything I get out of doing this comes from you guys. So thank you so, so much for watching, for being part of the channel. I appreciate it. I look forward to talking to you again. Take care, everybody. Be good. Phil Adams out in the UK. You know I love you, brother. So be good out there, man. Can't wait to meet you someday in person, man. I wanted to just say that, man. You're such a great guy. Get Mo too, but Phil Adams, you're such a great guy, and I can't wait to hang out with you and get to know you better, man, in person. We're almost at that point where we're ready to travel internationally again, so I can't wait. Take care, man. Take care, everybody. See you later. I would regret it if people look back at the first episode and you weren't on it.
Yeah, well, I like that. It's called forward thinking.
We have one of the worst beats in the world. We do. Our beat is horrible.
Connor could shove that article up his ass.
And then I went to that game and I was like, this is the greatest team I've ever seen in my life. I'm a Jet fan. This is going to be the greatest run ever. Yeah.
No, because if they take Aquanu, I'm not complaining.
Joe Douglas is the king of keeping shit close to the vest.
A 2, a 4, and a 6 for Darnold?
Did the Jets really ruin Sam Darnold, or did Sam Darnold just suck all along and we were just trying to talk ourselves into it?
And Hamilton is a player who can potentially make a very big impact.
And suddenly here we are today. You can't get rid of him.
Right. It's like a plague.
Joe Douglas was hired because he's not those general managers.
Okay, Luscious.
Somebody is going to fall just like Elijah Moore did, just like Michael Carter did.
You know, what would, if you had one sentence to say to Joe Douglas, what would you say? So you would say, you had me at hello, and then give him a big old wet one right on the smack.